It's the third time I've recorded this, but I'm gonna get it because I hate myself sometimes and I watch these back and they're disastrous. Okay, I failed gym last year. That's not what I want to talk about. It's just a bit of background. And so I had to sign up for like this self-taught phys ed course with like the province of Manitoba. And I was going over the overviews of all the different bits that I have to learn, and one of them was sex education. And there were two options, and it's the only part of the course where there are two options. There's no separate options for people with disabilities or anything, but this was one. The first option was centered around healthy decision-making, abstinence, and contraception. And it seemed to me from the description that abstinence would be the focus of that. And the second option is all about abstinence. There's absolutely no information on contraception. And your parents can choose for you to do this second option. And so, and this is 10th grade gym, sex ed. When you're in 10th grade, you're like 15 or 16. 16 is the legal age of consent in Canada. The funny thing is, this is sort of unrelated to what I'm talking about, but, you know. I turned 16 yesterday, and 16, you can get a driver's license. And so people kept asking me if I'm excited to learn to drive, and nobody asked me if I'm excited to get to some fucking. So that was strange, I thought. But, so you're actually, like, legally allowed to have sex when you're in 10th grade. But for some reason, they're giving this option to not learn about how to be safe when you have sex. And I think that's kind of fucked up because you have to know absolutely everything else, and you have to learn absolutely everything else in this course. The only thing that you have a choice on is whether or not to learn about this thing that is probably the most fucking important thing you learn in 10th grade. I mean, what else do they teach you? And so I just want to talk a little bit about abstinence only education because we all know it's bullshit, but some people don't really get why. Okay, let's say that from square one, people were taught that cars are dangerous. They were taught that they're bad for the environment, that you were taught the chances of dying if you're in a car, and if you were taught that, almost nobody would ever get in a car or drive a car. And people who did wouldn't know very well how to protect themselves while they're in a car. They would just know that it's really dangerous. But it's not taught like that. It's a given that at some point in your life you'll drive a car or at least get in a car. But sex isn't taught like that. From day one, it's like, oh, you know, there was a stork and it brought you. Like, we're so afraid to talk to kids about sex. And that's more of like a society thing. I'm very interested in why sex makes us so uncomfortable. I mean, not that it doesn't make me uncomfortable sometimes, but, you know. And so, abstinence only education doesn't teach you anything. It gives you absolutely nothing to work with. It's kind of obvious that one way to not get pregnant or get any STIs is to not have sex. I'm pretty sure people know that without it being taught to them. What they do need to be taught is how to use a condom, what a diaphragm is, where they can get birth control. Like, these are fucking important things that everyone should know, because people are gonna have sex, unless they're asexual or they choose not to for religious reasons or other things like that, obviously. That should be a given, and so we should be teaching people exactly how to protect themselves. It's just safety. It just serves to further stigmatize sexuality, and I don't want to say it fetishizes sex because that kind of sounds weird, but it does. Just like drugs and alcohol are fetishized because you can't get them. Like, until you're a certain age, you can't buy alcohol. Some drugs are illegal and you can't get them. It's so fucking stupid. And I don't know who Like, who could ever think that it's a good idea to teach abstinence and nothing else? Because that's not teaching. That's nothing. And so, yeah, that's just something I wanted to talk about.